Alrighty, folks. I have returned. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Ace Pharmakevo here, and some updates for the channel. So you heard it here first, or hopefully people tune in for the first couple minutes of the rewatchers and other people. But I will no longer be doing a Tuesday or Wednesday stream. I just think that I have more audience that I can reach to on the weekends. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'll be primarily streaming unless I have holidays or family plans or other stuff that I'm cooking up in the future. Who knows what that'll be? But I just want to let people know that first off, and second, it's great to be back. As you can see with the title, I've changed my new road that I'll be traveling down to, and part of it has to do with cooking, which I'm doing right now, in the wonderful old school RuneScape. I just recently got over 9 million cooking XP, so I've been cooking. What I've been cooking, you may ask? Well, I've been cooking a lot of sharks. I've cooked over 12,000 sharks over the last 2 days, or the last day and a half or so, I should say. So I've been putting in a lot of work into cooking because I want to have my highest cooking level so I can take and help with the good old, fishing. Fishing and sailing, how they're tied together. I'm a big fan of deep sea trawling, or I like the fish that you can get from deep sea trawling, so that is going to be my newest adventure, which is to take and work towards that. As you can see here, I have cooked some of the food before in my little food bag that I have, and I have some of the raw foods, and I have some more stuff in the general tab, but this is kind of what I have right now. I'm just getting everything set up to where I can see everything better. I'm going old school right here with one monitor. So it's a little bit of a challenge sometimes, but I like the challenge. From time to time, I'm still trying to see what we're going to do for some dungeons. I've had a party that I was actually running with some of the people here. Some of you may know them or may not, but they're my friends. Some of them are part of my kingdom as well. So return customers or return people. But yeah, I've actually did pick up and I ran some towers just because I wanted to give it a shot to try and at least collect some more of the Yelbegan gear, because it is really good gear for a lot of other classes. And actually, there is a XP event, and I'm actually getting over getting sick from my Florida trip. When I came back on Monday, I didn't really feel too well. It didn't help that I had like 2 hours of sleep. So, but eventually I got my second win and I made it through, but I was just not feeling too hot over the last week or so. Yeah, been almost a week. Been coughing up a lot of phlegm, runny nose, casual like cold, flu, other type of sickness potentially, but I'm feeling better every day, which is good, and been having fun farming these dragons, as you can see here in some of the other events. You can see here if I go to the Wyrmhunt thing and we go to the things, I am currently 78 for the Curse Queens and 46 for Wyrmhunt. Close to 47. So I do have some stuff left to buy here. I might buy the flare, maybe, and the activity slots. I'm not really going to buy the affiliate keys. I think I've bought everything else from the Cursed Queens so far. Hello there, Win Bin. Welcome to the stream. Yes, I'm becoming a master chef here. I want to get my cooking cape, because that means I'll never burn anything ever again, or it'll be like a super low chance if there is a chance to burn stuff. And so that is a reason why as well. And a lot of these sharks, I actually bought them. Or at least half of them I bought. A little bit over half of my total, over 20,000 sharks that I have. A lot of that I've bought with money, and then I plan on reselling the sharks to make my money back, or at least make some money back, because I don't need 18,000 sharks. I'm sure I could just never ever take a need food ever again, but I always like the cooking the new cool food than get from sailing and stuff. Um, but yeah, so we will probably be doing some dungeons. I'm trying to see if the party changes has changed. Looks like my friend, one of the people have left the party already, so we're down some spaces. Let me just close out the game and reopen it to take and get a refresh to see who's doing what. But if anybody does want to run some dungeons that is a viewer, I am down to run with viewers. And then another new thing that's going to be happening, that I'll be doing is that on Sunday is where I'm going to be doing my ORNA help, ORNA support, like ORNA, mainly like the ORNA, where I focus on ORNA for a good part of the day, helping out the community, answering questions at the Q&A, maybe doing some XP share, you never know. And just seeing how people are doing, and what people's thoughts are and things, because I'm not gonna lie, like I've really not been putting a lot of attention in with all the cool new stuff that's going on in ORNA related to news and stuff. Like, sure, like I see some of the gear and I look at it and stuff like that, but my main focus has been towards RuneScape right now. Even though I'm not going for the max cape by my birthday, we're just gonna see what happens. Getting the max cape is nice, but having fun along the way is more important than really treating RuneScape like a job. I kind of just want to chill and just enjoy the time that I'm playing the game, rather than just like I have to take and put so much stuff into it every single day. Like at one time I was doing like 1,000,000 XP per day, and sometimes I get more than that. It's not that hard to get 1,000,000 XP per day. I'm at 106 million right now. Hello there, Abu. Hope you're doing well, buddy. But yeah, so people do want to run some dungeons with me, let me know, and we can actually use this party here that Mr. Hypon has generously donated. Now I think Mr. Ecto, or otherwise known as Butt Buffet, will be joining us for runs. So we probably have at least 2 people. So we just need 2 more people. We can always make another party if we get more people want to join, because he can carry and I can carry, even though I particularly don't want to carry. Like, I remember I was hanging out with other of my Kingdom members and yesterday, and I was trying to put together a dungeon party for Wyrmhunt, because it was the first day of the release, and I wanted to get in and run some dungeons. What's up, Storm Shaw? Good to see you, buddy. Welcome. Ugh. I'm just enjoying cooking some sharks right now. I'm almost done cooking the sharks. I'm not going to be one to cooking the quorum ones, but probably the sharks with the quorums will put me over to 96 cooking. Now, technically, the sailing drink that's infinite from your ship. Excuse me for a moment. Take and cough for a little bit. Still not getting over the coughing part of the sickness right now. So I'm going to be trying my best to take and mute that, because I don't think people want to take and hear me with my coughing. But yeah, so for some of the people that haven't rewatched or seen the early part of the stream, I'm now mainly moving to being a weekend streamer. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, my people really want to see me stream on Wednesday. I'll probably do Wednesday, not really Tuesday. Then you need to write down in the chat, or like the video, or join the Discord server and say, hey, it's Farmer Kev, I really enjoyed the Wednesday streams, because I know that I can reach out and, connect with more people on the weekends than the weekdays. And thank you for that. But yeah, I'm looking to see if some people want to take and run some Dunjos. or Wyrmhunts, and maybe some of the Curse Queens as well for the themed dungeons. Unless they're like Underworld Portals, Battlegrounds, or like other types of themed dungeons that and give you the end dungeon reward bonus chance or item drop chance. I usually like running those as those because I feel like that is a good, like a big reason why we have a lot of like it's like it attracts a certain type of audience or a certain type of gamer, I'd say, for the people that want to min max their account to the extreme by getting the best of the best things. And sometimes the best way to get the best gear sometimes is that you're looking certain gear, not all gear, is from the end of dungeon rewards. So that's why, I've done, what is it? Player record. That's why I've done over 43.2 thousand dungeons in the 4 or 5 years that I've been playing, or probably close to 6 years now. Because in the dungeon rewards are just like, you're fighting against RNG. It's like, all right, RNG, you're gonna give me what I want, and you throw a punch or fire a bolt or zap a magic spell or send your pet after it to attack it. But sometimes you don't know what when you defeat RNG what it's gonna drop. If it's gonna be something good, you already got, and then you get better. Because, of course, you can get really good gear for all the slots without doing a single dungeon if you really wanted to. But, normally in order to summon raids, you have to, use these things called summoning scrolls or special types of summoning scrolls or devices or items and stuff like that in order to fight these raids. So that's kind of where dungeons come in, or, working on other stuff. Yeah, the Ornate Old Northern Crowner, the ONC, is like a really big chase item for a lot of people. Let me get back to cooking these sharks. But yeah, Sunday is gonna be it's gonna be like my ORNA themed day where I kind of like do some Q&A, maybe do some XP share. Help work out people with their builds and stuff like that. Give them advice and tips. And like other people more than welcome to help share their advice and stuff during that day. Because I still really enjoy and love ORNA. I really do. I think it's, but the thing is I'm just like struggling to try and find the next big goal to work towards. Got the floor 1,053 earlier this week in Endless. That is a very nice. You're welcome to the Master Forge or Plus Endless badge, buddy. That is fantastic, Stormshaw. So we got a new person that joined the Discord stream, so that's cool. So welcome, Winton Churchill. I normally have people muted when they join the stream. You can always type in the chat, especially if I don't know the person personally and stuff like that. So if you have any questions, you can always just type it in the Discord chat if you don't want to take and watch on YouTube or Twitch and stuff like that. So that's gonna be good. More chats to take and look between. Let's go. But I was just mentioning, you may have heard, may or not, Winton Chill when I was talking earlier. Well, here we go. Here's the chat. Oh, it's Win Bin. You're just using your iPad. Okay, well, I'd highly recommend changing your Discord name then. Let me check and see how I'm going to make this work. I don't need this right now. Then go like that. Yeah, because part of me is like, I really want to get figure out my second monitor issue that I've been having recently, where it just hasn't been working. I'm gonna have to maybe get a new cord to plug into my graphics card, or get a new graphics card. Well, let's see, what did sad Mr. Stormfrost say? He said you could have gone higher, but the mindlessly spamming Quickcast Ultima and a Zerk Realm Shifter got me. Hey, yeah, sometimes that's what happens. I mean, for me, what helped me when I was doing Endless is I was aware of this, and that's why I did the buff stacking Endless. That didn't use Quickcast Ultima. That used like Verse, or the Elemental Steel 3, or it took 2 turns to cast Ultima. It was super tanky. Because I had a one-handed, when I had the tower loots, and I had a shield, or like an offhand that gave me ward and stuff. But if you're just mainly just going to farm personal best, and you don't care if you die early on, as long as you get past certain far, then so by all means do that. There's many different builds you can do for Endless nowadays. There's so many different types with all the new types of gear that's come out and the new builds. And if I'm remembering correctly, this is through Deity, right? I mean, if I go over here to and see, I think it's Deity. Yep, Deity. There we go. And you have 67 ascension levels. That's pretty good for 67 ascension levels to get over 1,000 floors. So there we go. Good job. Where's it? Yep, there's his endless dungeon right there. He's got, actually, it's the Demon Forge one. Did they change it? I thought 1,000, maybe 500 was the Master Forge, or maybe it's less than that. I guess that is the Demon Forge one, so I stand corrected. So there we go. Yeah, it's just a flat. It's like a flat 24 or 20 something % increase to your stats when you have it, which is crazy. From one piece of gear. The only downside is that it doesn't have any resistance. So, for some people, maybe one stat is lower than the other one. I mean, I know Deity has an overall pretty tankiness in stats already, but, when you have an imbalance in the stat distribution, there's going to be an imbalance that shows up on your total stats. And sometimes it may not be that big of a difference, but sometimes it is. Because, like, when I was doing Endless, I had, like, literally, some of the best gear you can have for, like, I had I was originally using like a 180 or a 190 Arisen Rift cowl, the mage one, as my helmet, and then I got like a 195 or like almost a perfect one, and I'm just like, yeah, we're gonna just take in full send power this up, use that. I use the chest piece that gives you Blessed Shield from the Great Sphinx. So that was pretty tanky chest piece as well. And then I use a 192 Wind Tamer boots, I believe, for the pet action rate, because we need that pet action rate. It's very important for the pet that they can help support. Because I was using Phoenix all the way through. I mean, technically you could use the Titan, the replica Titan as well, but I just rather have the guaranteed deific channel. I could have probably gone farther as well, too, if I would have just swapped out more pets to get more temporary buffs, because I was using Oracle with a crits and a buff duration. Or I was using a buff duration and like a HP and mana regeneration. You mean the Fenja, right? If you're for instead of Risen Menja, it's Risen Fenja for the helmet, right? Because Menja's a different one. The one that gives you magic power and crit rate. Or maybe I'm getting it mixed up. Yeah, I guess while we're waiting for some people that they can join, I could probably do some towers. It's been a hot minute since I've run some towers. I'm not gonna be full clearing the towers because I mainly just care about fighting the Elbegan. These are my personal towers, so I can't make them hard mode, but I would run them hard mode if I could. I will show you the build that I'm using. So this is going to be mainly for Realm Shifter Dorado here, not for. It's customized really towards the swashbuckler lifestyle or the Blades of Finesse lifestyle. We're going to go with this, with the Dragon Tail Sweep, using triple double Trevs. This is a 40% crit with Bestial Bond 1 Amity and double Pumpkinless and Arisen Arrows. So, you know, I'm going pretty all out with the stuff. Running at 4 Anguish. I'm not running higher. I could run higher, but I want to just chill. Is that my friend? That is my friend, Arthur Lady G's. She is currently global number 5. Where is she at right now? 3 million of both monsters and bosses slain. So she's probably got over 2 million more than I've gotten, which is ridiculous. But she's a farmer, all right. So if I wanted more tower shards, which I kind of do, even though I don't really spend them that often, I'd be using the support lady, the replica Themis. Because the Bestial Bond's going to give me an extra 5% tower shards right here. Let me just get back here. Magic, that's fine. Oh, that's a bear. Okay, my first. Oh yeah, this is the annoying one. So I'm probably just gonna go like this. I'm just gonna take them out one at a time. Not even gonna take and risk it. I could probably just take this one out too, right? I guess. You know, just ninja things, guys. You know, nothing special here. You know, this is just the ninja way. And I still stand by my philosophy. You know, ORNA is a turn-based GPS RPG game or turn-based game. You know, the GPS part is optional; it's not required, but it would help. So you know, my ninja skills or my special move or my special ability is the art of gaining more turns. When you add that with the Blades of Finesse, Parting Remarks lifestyle, where once you slay other people, you just melt people. Oi there, Mr. WR. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Hope you're having a good day/night over there. Another deity. Because if I go here to my inventory, and I go to currencies, and I go to count, once I get there, you know, I have like 1.6 million tower shards right now. Now, of course, you'd be like, oh, why don't you have, you know, 9 or 10 million tower shards? I'm just like, well, because I don't really want to run towers unless I really have to. Like, I used to run towers because I was focused on ascending and I wanted to take and get the most materials at a time. So that was like a different stage in my life, you know. So I did a lot of them. You know, I'm still level 100, guild level 121 in the Teinfeld guild. So, you know, I put in my time. Man, feeling like an old man here. I put in my time in the towers back in my days. You know, like 3-4 years ago. I put in my time. And like that reminded me like why I'm kind of like just more open with just more people carrying, because it's like, how are people going to learn how to carry if I'm carrying all the time? You know, I like to give other people a chance to carry and then see how they do, so then they can see how they will do in a group setting compared to solo, because it's a lot. It's same but different, and definitely not the same. Because solo, you don't have to worry about foresight. In group play, the enemy's foresight still comes into play depending on your English level and depending on if you're running a normal or a boss dungeon or a theme dungeon, you know, because there are certain theme dungeons that have certain monsters that just are inherently have high foresight or just very fast. So it's a completely different thing to take and keep in mind. But you know, it's a different. The game has evolved, and it continues to evolve, and I'm here to see how it evolves. And it does just a big habit of mine, just like rapidly picking up the stuff. So I think that was Magic 1 right there that I think I got. Oh wow, this again. Man, I wish I had Swan Song here. That would have been great. Alright, let's see here. They're going to hit me. One of them did. So they did a little bit damage to my health, but not too much. It didn't really move that much. Luckily, I have, 50% Ward Absorb. He probably wouldn't have taken me out. Even if he did like 30 or 40k, I would have still survived. And this is 4 English too, so we'll see. So I'm not going to be fighting this one. The Wyrmhunt one, because I don't want to change my build. That's fine, because, you know, I got plenty of more, excuse me, other tower monsters to fight. I'm not trying to maximize my tower shards right now. I'm just chilling. I won't be taking out this Anku, because I always feel like I need pure Darkstone. So, plus, you know, it helps her, like, you know, you can kind of just like play a little mini game where it's like you say, oh, okay, people, check and see how many Anku have you killed, and whoever has the most Anku killed, rather it be, and you can do like both Anku, the Arisen Anku and the regular Anku. Like whoever has the most, you know, they win, you know. Ooh, Dragon 2, nice. I do like an extra damage increase. That's pretty nice. I can just do cool stuff like that. Next load of sharks to cook. So let's see, how much sharks do I have right now? I have almost 13 million gold worth of sharks. Oh my goodness. So that's going to be nice. Of course, I'm not going to get the whole 13 million because you have to pay the 2% tax. You know, even in video games, sometimes you can't escape taxes, which is like, gives you kind of like a little realism right there. It's like, what? Crazy. You would think they wouldn't have tax in video games, but, you know, RuneScape was made in Europe, and they're kind of big on their taxes, so they probably had some type of thing for that. I don't know. Maybe there's an origin to that. I just don't know. Let's cook these fish, slay these dragons. Oh, attack 1. Okay. If I get, so there's 2 buffs I'm looking for from the tower chest. And one of them is going to be the Berserk 1, which you can only get in the Yellbanging Towers. And then the other one is going to be a temporary attack 2. And I just got Berserk 1. So I feel like I don't really need to get another chest now. I can just be fine just coasting with this, because there's a chance that you will encounter 2 debuffs in these chests. So be careful. One of them being Starstruck, and the second one being Drakeblight. Even if you have gear on that says you're immune to Drakeblight, you will still get Drakeblight, because it's not something that happened while you're in the dungeon. It happened before the dungeon, so they write it into the code some weird way like that, to where you can't just like be immune to it. You can take and use a Drakeblood to remove it, but that also takes away a turn from warding and attacking and stuff. So I'd say if you're happy with the buffs you have, or you feel like you don't need them or want them, don't open up the chest. That's another one that I would want to, which is temporary all 1, which is 25% to all your stats: attack, defense, resistance, dexterity. Fortunately, it doesn't boost things like crit damage and foresight and other stuff like that. But it'd be cool if it did. But then maybe it might be too broken. No, that's really good. You got 95K while you're using a coin. That's pretty impressive, Stormshaw, right there. Hey, but if you have a quarterstaff, you're pretty much set. I would say if you have a stat one of the brilliant lights too, then you're good. Then there you go. I took the trap and I got the Drake Blight. So we're just gonna take and just go swinging without it. Yeah, like for me, it's like I think I did like 120 or between 120 and 140 towers to get my ornate, um, which I thought was a reasonable amount to do. Some could say it's been very early to do that, and then there's people out here that have done like many more times than that, and then are still unfortunate with certain things, because they're trying to collect every ornate from the boss. Yeah, you got a 198 great set. Then that's pun intended. That's great, and that's not great that I got starstruck. So games got mad jokes today. So you remember, do as I say, folks, not as I do in this scenario. Nice, nice. All right, I still got it. I think an empty cup. I think I need that for something. Yeah, I think I need that for Guthix Rest. I want to make some Guthix Rest to try and use that to fight Vorkath. So you've got every other item ornate, or like every other weapon in ornate, is what you're saying. Or majority of the stuff that you want to get to help you feel like you're happy with this event. Yeah, so I'll get a decent amount of shards from here by just full clearing it. I'm gonna get probably like 30,000, maybe more. We'll see. Let's fight these enlightened people and show them how unenlightened they are if they're willing to take and fight me. Well, to be fair, I actually went out to fight them. There we go. Get some more sharks real quick, folks. We need to finish cooking these sharks, so they're going to help me get to like 80% of the way to 96. Cooking. I'm already, where is it? Yeah, I'm already like 30% or so. Where does it say? I'm 38% of the way there. I could definitely just go buy more sharks if I wanted to just only use sharks because it's chill. Um, but yeah, let's get back to here. Um, yep, I knew you were immune to dragon. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing some endless. I might try and do some endless today, maybe. I'll just have to do like really less click intensive. Like I probably won't be cooking if I'm gonna be doing endless. I don't know. I probably could do it. I don't know. We'll see how it. We'll see. Maybe it will happen. I just like being efficient with my time. So like I don't want to take like 20 to 30 minutes in between each AFK to take and restock the fish to cook or whatever I'm doing. But like endless is like just like pretty because endless is like can be pretty mentally taxing on you at times because oh there we go tower shards. I'll take tower shards. Um, hey, the Phantom Frog. I know that guy. Because it's like, if you don't make the right move or the most ideal move to make, it may not be always the right move, but it may be the, out of the, you know, many different options you can take for different skills and spells to do, you try the one that you think is going to be the best. And then you're at the mercy of RNG, where if you actually hit the attack or not, or if the attack does enough damage sometimes in order to take it out when you get higher into the endless floor. So it kind of just a no brainer. Why they changed how like different how like stasis worked, because people have proven time over time, to achieve, you know, high highs with this. Now you can technically use different methods to take and replicate stasis endless if you want to, because that's the most like mathematically correct best option if you wanted to just like be like a actually this is the best way to do endless kind of thing. Would be like what I did, which is like using Grand Summoner, pimping out your summons with like every single buff possible, like giving them literally the best buffs they can possibly get for most of them, usually not all of them, unless you're like that dedicated towards the cause that you're willing to spend extra time for that. But and then you just go Chronomancer with Assassin Gear for stasis for higher stasis chance, and have a permanent Ithra Monument running at all times in order to take and increase the duration of the debuff or the effectiveness of it. 19 tower shards? Really? That's not nice. It's kind of open for more than 19. All right, here we go. 32,000 tower shards, and it's time to fight Yelbegin. Let's see. This one I get 140. Okay, so they're nicer here and give me some more. So I'm going to be using a different build here. I'm going to go more of a safer build here, where I have this Tower Guardian Dragon Resistance Amity build here. Now I kind of mix it up. I kind of have to change it for what I want to do. So I have my Tower Bow. I have similar stuff, but here I'm going to be actually even this because I need the mana. And I'll be using the Tail of the Sphinx here for the drop quality bonus to try and get a better thing. And I'll be using... Actually, I'm not going to be using the beast one. I'm just going to go with the pet one. We're going to go for more tower shards here and do more damage. We just have to be a little mindful. But, I still have a lot of ward here because it's not like I'm using shackles here. It's for anguish. Yeah, yeah. If you look at when Vin's looking at it through Discord, and then he looks at stream, and then you just see a lot of different stuff because you don't see all the stuff that's going behind the scenes. So that's kind of like, Discord's a lot different that way, where you kind of see everything that's going on because I'm literally sharing the my whole screen on Discord, so you can see my whole monitor, what's going on there. One Piece, yeah. I mean, like, I feel like One Piece is always a good thing to talk about. Like, I love One Piece. Like, I definitely want to get back and then doing that. I mean, it's like I've seen, like, the YouTube Shorts because I'm a big YouTube Shorts person. So, like, I'll just be seeing these clips and I'm just like, oh man, One Piece is looking so good right now with like Elbaf and all this other weird plot twists and stories and you know how it's evolving more. But let's go on with this tower fight. We're going to use Ward of Wardnight first to be safe. And then Divine Bastion to be even safer. And good. Alright, cool. All my debuffs are gone. So now I can use some defensive buffs if I want to. I might not use Gunner. I will just use an Aghane's Brew here, so I can get the level 1 defenses just to be a little extra safer. And then I'm going to Ward of Wardnight for some extra ward turns. And then we're going to go embrace the power of the Realm Shift. And we're going to see how this goes. I use Realm Shift so I can have an instant ultimate cast. 2.5, that's not bad. That's not bad. Let's see, do I have anything to cleanse this? I'll use another Realm Shift and I'll just rely on my pet to help me out there. That's going to take my damage a little bit, but it will also help me get red line more, so that's good. Okay, this is where the big damage is going to happen. Because I have the triple all up, and there we go. He has been defeated once again, and unfortunately nothing. But not bad, almost 33,000 tower shards. That's not half bad at all. And that's for like 20, 30 minutes or something like that it took. And this is like, kind of like not like fully speed running it. Because like I used to try and go for really fast, full clear tower kills where I was just like, always just like lightning fast and stuff. And I was just like, no, we're just going to chill, enjoy the adventure along the way, man. No need to be in a rush. I'm not trying to get like, millions of tower shards right now. Just doing what I can, enjoying the game. It's so different than just like always being like trying to like rush towards something. Just sitting back, just slowly chipping away at it. Where are we at there with the sharks? Oh, we're under 2,000 sharks now, so we got them on the ropes. All right. I think I'm good on towers right now, I think. Yeah, as much as I want to do more towers, I'm just like, I got all day tomorrow to do these towers. What I did want to do is mainly just do one of them to clear up a space for dungeons. So I am still down to do some dungeons if people do want to do some dungeons. It is one of my favorite things to do in ORNA. Is dungeons. Or in the dungeon rewards. And for being able to take and join together with other people from around different parts of the world. And then be in the same party. You can literally have people from 4 different corners or parts of the world be in your party. You have one person from America, one person from Asia, one person from South America, one person from Australia, or one person from Antarctica, potentially, even further down south. So, or who knows, I might try to do some endless too. Like I said, I was interested in doing some endless. Got to shake off the rust a little bit, I used to do endlesses every week. Now it's like, once or twice a month kind of thing. Or sometimes a little bit more than once or twice. But, just like less times around the month. The thing is, though, because you said earlier, Storm Shaw just use it Realm Shifter Corvus. It comes down to the accuracy part and getting hit. So that's why a lot of it's because the damage isn't the problem with Corvus. Like, you have the damage. It's just like when you miss, you just lose so much stuff. Let me see. All right. I'm definitely down to try doing Corvus Endless, because I do enjoy that version of Endless the most. And unfortunately, I don't have all the stuff to do the other times of Endless, like the new version of the Summer Endless. I've been hearing a lot about it because of the ORNA event that has happened recently, and the other previous events. Where it's really going to run Endless. Let me see what I can do here. Okay, that's what I thought. 1 second, folks. I'll mute again for a second. All right, there we go. Back. Hope that helped out a little bit with. Because to me, I just sound congested to me. I was like, if I can get anything out with blowing into a Kleenex, let me see what I can do. But yeah, I think I might do some Endless. And it's different now because I'm actually wanting to keep the XP that I have right now. So I would probably leave this party because we did kind of learn or figure out that XP shared actually does get shared amongst 250s, and if I'm trying to get the overlevel badge, technically I'm only sharing with one person right now, Mr. Ecto, but that means I'll be eating less XP if I'm sharing it with them. And I believe it's 151 trillion you need in order to get to the 500 level badge, which is a lot of XP. That's a lot of, that's over half of what I have right now needed to get there. And it took me a long time to take and get these, but luckily there's actually an XP event going on right now, so I'm even more invested to take and do Endless right now. I would definitely much rather prefer Dunjos than endless because it's more chiller, like hundreds of times more chiller, I should say, than doing endless because it's chill for like the first like 10, 15, 20 minutes, but like if you're into an endless for more than like 20 or 30 minutes straight and you start getting into like more difficult stuff, like let's say or in the realm of floors, the wide range of floors in endless, it's endless, but we don't have anybody that's really reported or successfully said that, hey, you know I made it to 4,000 floors, guys. It's crazy, like 2,000s or like close to 3,000 is the highest that I think has ever been recorded, or not recorded, but like screenshots of people that just don't really report their records with endless. From what I've seen over the years, but like the first 500 floors are like the first test that a lot of people have to get through, or sometimes even if it's the first 2 to 300 floors, that's even like a more beginner test. Like this is like a long-term test if you can get to 500 consistently, and then it's 700 or 900, and then it's 1,000. Like if you can continuously get to 1,000 pretty consistently, then especially if you're using like farm gear for at least 60 to 70% of the run, maybe higher. If you're just built different or your class is just that good at this version of the game. Some classes are better than other classes endless. I know it may be crazy to believe that, but it's true. Realm Drifter is one of those classes, but unfortunately, I don't know if I would actually put it in like the top 3 for like the best def endless classes. It definitely has contender, but you have a lot of different RNG factors or less saving rolls sometimes than other classes, depending on what it is. Because like with other classes, with like for example Beowulf, that can go deep. You have the RNG of your pet doing what's supposed to do or not what's supposed to do, and they've released so many items that help out with that, which is like with the pet AI or the pet in-game intelligence, whatever you want to take and categorize it as. Like what command or what move the pet is going to make based on the situation to help kind of like pushing it to the right direction. But nobody, like, of course we know what we want it to do. We can't literally say, hey pet, use this spell all the time, never use these other spells, only use this spell. If you could, then like Balos be OP, because then you would just rock with the mimic and it would just be firing ultimas left and right, and sometimes it does that, and you'd be going to Regia and you'd be doing like a Bastion strategy, endless. That was a fun endless when I did that, because that was the highest that I made it with Beowulf. I think it was the 6 to 700s is where I died, or maybe close to 800. I'd have to go back and see from my Beowulf adventures, when I made it that far, because it just feels like forever ago, and now there's like so much other gear. But I'd still probably use a similar gear I was using before, maybe, or maybe the other gear is better. I'd have to take and compare. But I was using Fey Mincha stuff and Fey Gerd stuff, from the Jormungandr, and that's still really good pieces of gear because that's a balance between pet stats, ward, defense, and resistance, and not just all one, but kind of lacking in the other for the categories. That's it's pretty balanced overall. Very good piece of gear. Highly recommend people that are starting off, because that's an event raid that anybody can get. Some other gear you have to get it from event dungeons, which is a limited time available to get that. But when it's from an event raid that is able to get from a summoning scroll or whatever capsules that's containing the raid that they have, if I go here and I go, where's it at? I'll wake up the game again. And then I go here and I go to items and I just go by the count. So we have where is it? So we have I'm just looking for raids, not for bosses, because there's different ones. So the Ragnarok scroll. So it says scroll. The moon drop itself summons a raid, so there's moon drops that can turn into raids. You have the classic regular summoning scrolls. Then Wind Tamer, Beastfeld, Tablet of Hyperion. So how would you know that that summons? It's not. It doesn't say Hyperion scroll, but for people that know, they know that this summons the Hyperion raid, which you have to use the moon drops and star drops in order to create that. Then kind of some other Rift Distortion scrolls, Crimson Surge scrolls, which are high on demand for people that like to crit, since it's one of the best crit adornments. That's not a Celestial Tower crit adornment, so that's saying something. And then Perseus, which is the counterpart to that one, that's like still pretty desired as well, especially for the material it drops, Ancient Stone. Then Hollowed, and then another summoning scroll. These are all bosses. Then we have the Mnemonics. Going back up, we have the Scroll Dynasty. Monument Summoning Scroll. That's like event-themed ones. Let's see. Any more that I'm missing right now? Just going through here. There's Ares right there. So there's another one. Probably got some lower ones here that are just ones I don't have a lot of. Scroll of Anguish, that's one that I don't really battle a lot, but I would like to. And then just a regular baby scroll Ragnarok, and like the baby scroll with Distortion. So yeah, there we go. That's kind of like a view of how many raids that I have. So I have a lot of raids that I can summon, but it's like I don't really have the drive to take and fight all these raids, including all the raids I have as well, or all the other raids that I can fight in the kingdom as well. Yeah, but in this is like kind of like years of collecting scrolls, and sometimes I may not use all the scrolls as soon as I get them. Like sometimes you can share scrolls with people, so you can get resources. And I just got the gear, and I didn't feel like farming that raid for gear. Some of the raids I did. I mean, you can go through the codex, and I can kind of show you, like, if I went through my raids, you can kind of see where I kind of killed the most raids at. And there's reason why Arisen Morgan's high up there, because she drops Cursed Ordinite, which is one of the rarest materials in the game, And I was so fortunate this week. I was like, oh, thank you so much, Northern Forge. They not give me one. They gave me 2 Cursed Ordinite rolls on the Astral Tree. So I got almost 400 Cursed Ordinite from the Astral Tree. So thank you, Northern Forge, for introducing the Astral Tree, I think it's pretty cool. Very happy with that. Hey, Wintermelon, what's up, buddy? I'm talking to your friend over Stormshaw over here on YouTube. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've been getting some good amethyst recently. Thank you once again for helping me out with the other one. So yeah, if you haven't, Astral Trees can help you level up too. They can give you orange. Like, if you follow this one down throughout the week, look, you would get I would get more than 6.7 million orange if I went down the Astral Tree here to go get the power of the Astral Tree. And then I'd pick up the summoning scroll as well, or I would immediately just go like this. I get this, and then just go straight up there, and then get that. And then this one's got all the items too. So you can get a lot of event items, or if you want to be risk it for the biscuit, you can get an ornate item. But it costs one of the rare seeds. You can see I only got like 6 of those, but I got 27 of the other ones. And luckily you can get them every day by, doing your quest, which is nice. Get plenty of them, so you don't really worry about spending the green ones as much. It's just the other ones. Oh, man. Well, Stormshaw, I have to say that that Wintermelon called you a noob, so their words, not mine. But yeah, I do want to do some dungeons. So if people are down to do, if Wintermelon you want to go, then I can probably get other people with me that they can be at least a 3-man party. We can hop between wave vessels and get some Orna. Done a lot of talking about Orna. I did a tower technically, so you can't say I didn't do any Orna on stream. And I can kind of show you that I've been playing Orna by my where is it? By my event hub. 78 in the Curse Queens, 48 in Wyrmhunt. You know. Oh man, he's not denying these allegations of being a noob, Wintermelon. So I mean, like, hey, I'm a noob at a lot of games as well. Everybody's a noob at one point. Unless you just built different and you're just good at every single thing that you've ever done in your life. And congratulations if you're one of those people. If you just manage to succeed in everything you try for the first time. My congratulations to you. What tremendous luck you and fortune you have in your life to have that. But sometimes you have to be a noob, and then you get intermediate, then you get to, well distinguished, and then you get like expert, and then you get higher and higher in proficiency if you just keep on trying, keep on going along the path. You want to go Wintermelon? All right. Well, there we go. Well, there's another person right there. Let me just take and see if my other friend wants to dig and join. So then that'll be 4 people right there. Where is he? There he is. All right, we'll see what Mr. Ecto has to say. Yeah. I put in a good amount of time yesterday. I was literally doing what I was doing right now. Cooking sharks in RuneScape, which is very low intensive, and then just running dungeons with my kingdom bros, with my 420 peeps, getting their numbers up. And we gotta pump those numbers. All right, we can get the party started now, and then whenever he responds, he can. Let me just see how many people are in the party right now, because that's really important as well. We should be fine. So, yeah, so he's already in the party, which is great. So then it'll be 2 more people. So then, yeah, that's 6 people right there. So we have 2 wave vessels. We're mainly going to be going to Builder Bob, but Hype One Stand is another alternative if we've all ran our dungeons and we still want to do more dungeons and we have cooldowns for our dungeons. We can go to that spot after an hour. If we're that fast and that good, where everybody gets to run their dungeons, and it's been at least an hour, which is very plausible. Sometimes you can do it faster. Just depends how blessed the RNG is for your connection to the game is. It can be pretty bad at times, so it could take some more time. But let me get these people added to the party so we can get started. Oh wow, y'all both have the same name. That's crazy. So it's like, or similar like typing. I just type in win, and then both of y'all show up. So it's meant to be. In the same party. Y'all are the only 2 wins that I have. Maybe I'll have some more. Who knows? Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely am gonna give everybody a chance to carry if they can, but I don't think that Wintermelon, I mean not Wintermelon, but Ben can carry because he's a relatively newer Beowulf. I mean, have you been doing your towers, Win Ben, and you get a Celestial, any of the mage or like any of the weapons in good quality, you can start to carry. Like you don't need to have like the best gear. Like That weapon literally makes up the difference to be able to make like new players be able to carry. If you just like build your crit rate up, it's so good. Yes, it's builder Bobway vessel. That is correct, Wintermelon. That is where the partay is gonna happen. So you don't actually need those to carry. You can carry with those, technically, if you wanted to. I'm not saying that you can't carry with them, but those are two great weapons to have for other stuff that's not dungeons, I should say. I mean, technically, you can use the axe for dungeons if you want to, and the loot. But it's mainly the tower weapons. But let me know when you're ready, Win Bin Bin. I am getting in Wintermelon. I think they're already ready. But I'm going to take and activate my endless treats because we're going to run all the beast dens and stuff as... I'm going to run the beast dens as the Cursed Queens, or the Cursed Queens event. But I'm going to run the Dragon Roost and the Battlegrounds as they are. So we get more dragons from the Dragon Roost than just going with the Cursed Queens one. Because I don't really care too much because we have like a good amount of beast dens to help out. So it's going to be at least 3. I mean, you can kind of host wherever you want, but this is just the way that I'm going to run it. You can host your dungeons the way that you want. This is just my advice. We're going to run all the dungeons, all the normal dungeons as boss dungeons. We're not going to run them as the lair. Just because, I like the dragons more than I like the Cursed Queens right now. I put in a good amount of time in the Cursed Queens. I don't have everything, but I got all the stuff that I wanted. So, I'm not trying to buy everything from the shop and get hundreds of levels in the Cursed Queens. I've already put in my time. I'll still like to run it because you get some good materials from it, but that's going to be the way. I'm going to take and lower my foresight to be last. So I'll be the final fight. If they manage to get through the other 2 people, they'll have to fight me. If I can spell, flexing my gear a little bit right here. I'll still have a little bit over 500, I think. No, yeah, I'll be under 500 foresight. I don't want to be too low. But all right, that looks good. I'm gonna use my karmic for proofs. So let me see. I'm getting a ping. All right, so my friend is not going to be running with us. He's actually going to sleep, so good night, Mr. Ecto. So we do have a space for one more. I'm going to ask him if he can lead the party for space. Let's see. Getting everything set up. So we can just go for now unless we find a 4th person that wants to take and run with us right now. But we don't really need 4 people. 3's pretty good, but Win Bin Bin says they're ready. So whenever you are ready, Wintermelon, you can take and go with the Dunjos. We are ready. We're ready to Dunjo. Now, I would recommend everybody closing their games, reopen it, because you might not get the first invite. Because let me just move this up so I can do it easier this way. I would restart your game, and then you don't go to the sketchpad. That is not the second step. It is click on your game if you're Android, iPhone. I don't think you can really do this. And then you would go to your storage, and you would go clear cache, and then you just launch it. There you go. And it should help you out with hoping to make it a little smoother for the run. Sometimes you might have to do this every like 20, 30 hours, Depends on how fast you get the catched up. How good of a catcher. Joining 7 first. Okay. Well, I definitely don't have 700 foresight, if that's what you mean by 7. Well, there we go. We're off to the races, to the Dunjos. The Dunjo races. It's going to be 3 people for now. 3. Oh, look at that. A triple Ymir start. Well, looks like I might have to take and show them why I'm on the final boss. But any damage you can do, or you can buff up if you need to. If you want to buff up, I'll just start swinging, you know. I'm just going to start swinging. If you need to, Wintermelon. Yeah. Definitely. But luckily, it is at 1 anguish, so we don't have to worry about that. So we don't have to worry about any Ymirs being higher than like 800,000, I think, HP, which is pretty manageable. We don't have to worry about a 15, 20 anguish Berserk Ymir that probably has like 5 to 6 million health, and you're just like, yeah, I don't think I can one-shot that. Or, yeah, I can one-shot that, you know, if you have like, 90% of your ascension levels. Some people can. They're like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll just do 6 million real quick. Don't just I just need to hit the attack. As long as it hit, they're going down. All right, let's see. Is RNG going to be on my side? It looks like it is. There we go. So I took out majority of them. So that's good. I would just make sure you ward up right now when Ben. Don't always go on the aggressive, because there is Immortal Lords here, and they will hurt you. The ward that you got is only 25% right now, so you need to use Ward of Ward Night in order to get up to your 85% Ward Absorb, which is highly recommended. So we'll probably have a chance to give you a move eventually. They give you that ward chance. Hopefully the pets don't choose violence, or, if Win Bin's good, then technically you shouldn't have to worry about anything, and they're going to take out everything. That's the true professional carrying experience right there. Is just being able to take and have, or like, there's Berserker person. I was actually, well, yeah, I guess you must have a Pumpkinless piece on. I'm not really negative foresight, but that's all right. Nah, that's just my overall advice. Is just if you're new and you're running dungeons, and you're not the carry, or you have a designated role, the best thing you can do is just Ward of Ward Night first turn. That's literally the best thing you can do. It's going to give you the best chance to take and save your life. Or sometimes it's Stun Dart. So I'd always recommend people to put Stun Dart on their gear. It literally saves lives. I've said this so many times. Like, if people were to like go back and like count all the times that I've said Stun Dart saves lives, I've probably said it like close to like a couple hundred to 1,000 times. It's just that important. Or over 1,000, I don't even think it's quite over 9,000, but I can build up there, every stream I just slide in like, Stun Dart. I mean, I see why it's going so smooth. I see you're a Realm Shifter right now. So are you just vacationing over in Realm Shifter, or are you going to be like, spending a little more time over here, or what's your plans with Realm Shifter Wintermelon? So I see we're in good hands here. Another Realm Shifter on the lead. I was like, wait a minute, that looks like a Realm Shifter. You're a Realmy main now. Well, I'm so happy you made the right decision. Welcome to the Ninja Hood. Now you know the way. People say, do you know the way? And it's like, yes, we know the way. The way of the turns. The way of the ninja. The way of the mystic feather. Oh, so you're going full ham if you're just going with penguin. I like the penguin. I like the penguin tech. I mean, like if I was going for quick runs, I'd probably just use like Mimic most likely, or I'd most likely just go with the Mimic. But you don't really need it if you have like good pet action rate, or you got your pet's nice to you and actually does what you want it to do, and rather than just doing other stuff. I mean, I played all the other classes, and like I still would pick Realm Shifter to this day, even though I know a lot of other classes got a lot of cool new stuff to help them out. Like Heretic's looking pretty good right now, with their stuff, with their turn economy that they have, or their prio economy, I guess you can say, with the new mage gear. It says, oh yeah, I just have like a 50% increased chance to go first. It's like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. Only make it for mages. Very suspicious, Odie. Very suspicious. Why? Why just mages? Why can't everybody do this? We all want this ability. I know that you love mages, but you know, get something for at least a warrior or a thief. You know, not saying it has to be for everybody. You can just pick one of those. It's fine. But yeah, we are. I'm so done, so happy to be done with cooking all these sharks. When I'm done, I mean, because I got all this XP. I'm already 56% of the way to get to 96 cooking. 99 is the max, so we're at 9.2 out of the 13 point something million that we need total. So we're making good progress with this. With this on the good old. Then collect the sharks fast enough. Burn rate 0, because I'm just that skilled of a cook, folks. I got my cooking mitts on. I'm prepared. The heat control is real here. The cooking gauntlets. And soon I'll have the cooking cape. So that I wouldn't need the cooking gauntlets, and I can just wear some stylish other gloves. Or maybe I might need them still for certain things. Like manta rays and like the other higher level stuff. Oh, I actually got a turn here. There we go. Not too shabby. Oh, really? Doom is a heretic. Wow. Yeah, yeah. It's so crazy. It's so crazy how powerful heretic is. Like I actually want to try it. I'm tempted because they always give me mage gear instead of the thief gear for ornate. I'm like, why? Why do you give me all the mage, the summoner, the Beowulf? Every other class but the thief when ornate. I'm like, why must you torture me? It's like I've killed this dragon, over 150 times. And I have more of the other ornate than I'd have of the thief gear. Every other one has more. It's like, come on, RNG. I thought like you get an increased chance to play it. Like, sure, I'm playing as the Dorado most of the time, which is part warrior. I get it. But I'm still a thief in the end. So I still want the thief gear. Come on, RNG, be on my side, please. I want the good RNG. I've been. Oh my goodness. Hopefully, I'm not losing my voice right now. But let me see. Now that I didn't get back on the thought path that I was going before I drink that water. Jeez. But yeah, regarding like with the ORNA, with like the drop rate and stuff, like I can go and look at my ornates that are in my storage because I can't hold them in my inventory because red message will show up even though it's theirs. But luckily, it's not that bad, so I can take and just clear it in like 30 minutes or so, which is nice. The gear is alluring, yeah, it definitely is. From the dragon, the dragon gear is very alluring. I mean, some of the Sisters of Morgan's, serpent one is pretty alluring as well. But I'm not drawn into it that much to take and go for. Like I ran a couple of them, but I haven't really done a lot of those of the Sisters of Morgan Tower theme towers because I'm not even gonna try and bother trying to pronounce how you say the name of the tower. Like Yale Beggins, easy, cakewalk compared to how you pronounce that one. Um, but um, but yeah, sometimes you just got good RNG and you don't have bad RNG. And some people are like, oh no, it's actually mathematically statistics. This I'm like, no, you can even though the math isn't RNG is in your favor, you can still have good RNG even though when you have a lower chance of getting like the spawns that you want. And while running party play dungeons, like I think it's like worth getting the slight debuff by running in a party because you're able to run more dungeons, so you get more rolls overall than if you just run solo. You can only run so many dungeons solo. If you're running dungeons together with a party, you can take and run as many dungeons as you want. They may not be 100% pure quality. So, like, I know there's people out there that will just farm out, hundreds of dungeons solo because they just want the best drop chance. Or they're just, not the best drop chance, but the best monster or boss spawn chance ratio to be on their side. Because they don't have a lot of time to take and spend running dungeons together with people. Because even though you run more dungeons, sometimes you may not be able to do it consistently. Like, hey guys, I need to take a 5 or 10 minute break. I go do something else, or I'll be back in an hour, or 2 hours, or 3 hours. After their lunch break, or they're at work and stuff like that, and slow, or whatever time it is day for them. Because some people right now it's nighttime for me, but for other people it's like lunchtime, morning time, similar time. In different time zones in parts of the world. It's 8 o'clock for me, 8 p.m. or 8:01 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, like, I understand, like, because they made it to where you can run dungeons solo, a lot of people will choose that option, which kind of made party play not as like meta or the best thing to do sometimes, and just instead of just to play by your solo, which some people happily will do, and then some people will not. Like I used to be a solo player before I joined a Discord. I didn't know anything about Orna Legends or the main Orna GPS RPG or what Northern Forge, who worked at Northern Forge, who is Northern Forge, kind of thing. Until I joined the Discord servers. So, the Discords have been a big place over the years. It was like whenever they had like their year badge for Discord, it showed like I had like some of the top percentage of like Discord hours. And part of it is because, whenever I'm streaming, I'm also on Discord as well, sharing it over there during the time that I'm streaming, in case people are not able to take and go to YouTube and, Twitch all the time to watch. Where are we at? Oh, nice. We're going to be under 1,200 fish soon. Let's go. 60%. Slow but steady progress. Let's go. But yeah. Oh yeah, I remember what I was going to say. My luck for this event has been pretty good for the dragon. for some of the jewel creations that I got that were ornate. I got 2 perfects, which is 36 HP in mana with 12 attack. And then I got 199, which is a 35 with 12 attack and magic for the HP, and 35 for HP and mana, and 12 for the attack and magic. Sure, the other stats are, that. So it's pretty good with that. But I probably ran like over 100 dungeons so far for this event. So that's why I have 47, or higher right now, because I've been running a lot of these dungeons because I just love farming the dragons. I just love farming normal dungeons during this event. Even if I don't do all the tower keys, I just like collecting them. I like trying to get a perfect of the stuff I don't have for the weapons, and maybe getting like a demon forged Ymir for third charms is very alluring too. And kind of just to boost my own KDA for my Ymir kills. I have like almost 20,000 Ymir kills. Now, I'm not going to lie and say these are all legit. Some of them are poor tracking on the codexing thing. But, even if I've only killed like 16 or 17,000 out of the 19, that's still a lot that they can kill. But, I'm going to go with what it says on the game. So, when I get the 20,000, I'm like, hey, look, I killed them as a group. Even though they may be counting more times sometimes. In theory, after this dungeon, I should have more. We'll see after I kill the next one to see where it updated it by like 3 or 4 or 5. Do you not have a thin blade to use right now, Wintermelon, or do you just like using the Gandering for farming this event because of you're not immune to dragon with this? Because I'd rather pick the immune the dragon than the arcane sometimes. Not all the times, but I suppose Gilgamesh's aren't the worst thing to deal with. Or sometimes I'll just do Swan Song, You can still actually do Swan Song with a pretty high anguish as well. It's pretty reliable. Or if you get a good quality of the new loot, I think it might actually work as well. Pretty well if you want to go be a ninja mage. Even if you have a legendary, you can still do big damage with the legendary. It's that good, Like I tell people, I will go upgrade a legendary right now if you don't think that you can take and do big damage with the legendary weapon, Thin Blade from Yilmagus. It's I will do it, and I will still do millions of damage. Even with shackles on. Because Corvus is just that good. You don't need to do overkill all the time for the damage. As long as you do the damage, you get the job done, that's kind of all that matters, Going for overkill is nice. We like seeing the bigger numbers, more dopamine, It's real simple to take and have it to be like that. But you don't always need to overkill all the time. And I like the perfect shot tech. Perfect shot is great. It's a very underrated spell. I love using perfect shot. Because it just doesn't miss, which is perfect, pun intended. Let's see, 2 proofs, not bad, not too shabby. We got some Cursed Ordinites, that's nice. 9 minutes left on the buffs, and we're actually making some pretty good progress at 1 anguish to try and fill it up. So that's pretty inspiring right there, even though it's 1. You have a legacy just not built yet. Well, I would highly recommend doing it if by the end of this event you don't have one. I wouldn't recommend doing it. I mean, you can definitely do it right now. The materials really aren't that bad for it. But if you're hurting for materials, then don't do it. If you're low in those materials, but I don't think they're rare materials for it. But I could be wrong for my memory. Upgrade the weapon. Yeah, the Swan Song or Sway Song, as my friend likes to call it, still does amazing for these. You kind of have to go Sinatra, or you can go Thread if you want to. I would recommend going Thread because it'd give you the option to horizontal slash or B strikes or Viper strike or, you know, whatever your faction elemental strike 3 spell is to, you know, do big single target damage if you needed to for heal and heal it up and stuff. Sadly low on pure Draconite. Hey, well that's why we're farming the dragons now. So, you know, you can get big gains of pure Draconite. You know, I know a lot of people need it to ascend. Oh, well then, hey, you know, say no more. You know, I understand. If you need it to ascend, then, you know, no weapons. Sorry, nothing to the weapons or the armor. No investment into that. I always when I was so focused on ascension levels, like I was contemplating going higher, but it's like I don't want to really just be like, hey guys, you know, I need to get 16,000 cursed ordinate right now, or 20,000 cursed ordinate, or 25,000 cursed ordinate, or 30,000 cursed ordinate, or 40,000 cursed ordinate. You know, if you want to go that high up there and stuff like that, it's like, you know, I'm just gonna be here for a little while. You know, would it help with endless? Oh, most definitely it would. You know, because you'd be like a big strong boy or girl. You know, doing big damage, but, you know, at what cost are you willing to take and do for that? Like for me, it's like I think for me, I'm more than happy with being at a clean 200 ascension levels right now, which is a lot of ascension levels to have. And it's a nice clean number, you know, big 2. I mean, technically, I could, like, the only thing I would want more would just be 300, because it's like a 3 is a lucky number in Buddhism, or 3 is just a good number in general. But it's like I ask myself, how long would it take for me to get another 100 ascension levels? You know, how many more thousands or tens of thousands of bosses and raids and monsters would I need to take and slay in order to get the materials? Or, you know, how many guild materials can I most efficiently do to get the most materials? Like, you know, am I just gonna never buy it unless it's on a good material for stuff? Like, some people do that. Like, they just refuse to buy anything unless it's something that they need, or like the second or third most important thing they need on their low material list, or maybe go further than that. Like most people would probably be like, hey, Realm War's in the shop, let me just buy some. You know, it's kind of rare to get Realm War. You know what I'm saying? It's not Realm War just like not like falling from the sky, unless you got really good presence RNG and good in the dungeon reward luck and good refinery luck. Then you can get a constant supply of that. But, you know, now it's really easy to do refineries, because they said, okay, you only get 2 hands full, 10 refineries. You can't get any more than that. So it makes it a lot easier to do refineries. You know, click on it once every 12 hours. It literally takes you, like, you know, half a minute to do it. Click on 10, fill up, and then you can just claim them all at once, or you can claim them each time. So maybe then it'll take like a little bit over a minute if you're claiming all of them and you're looking at the materials and like, oh, nice, this one has a higher yield of silphium than the other one. Yes, quite exquisite, I must say. Or, oh, good, this one gave me a whole bunch of solarite. I need solarite. So that'd be my best advice to people. Like, if you're consistent, it will pay off over time if you take and fill up your refineries every single day. Yeah, I love running dragons because, and that's why, like, I never ran out of pure Draconite when I was ascending. I never ran out of pure Draconite ever when I was ascending on all my classes. Pure Draconite was not a problem because I've killed so many dragons over the years. You know, I've gotten my fair share of pure Draconite. I tell you what, you know, I've killed a couple 100,000 dragons in my days, you know. I know a thing to do about taking out dragons, you can say. Just call me Dragon Slayer Kevo. Or Ace Dragon Slayer Kevo. Like, it's funny, I can one-shot Ymirs right now with Dorado. If I just get, you know, just a couple of buffs, you know. Normally it's the Corvus or doing all the big damage. No, I can take out some dragons with my samurai ninja suit. It's more samurai. I wish they had like a really animated ninja skin. Like, this is the closest thing that I have that I'm happy with, that represents Realm Shifter in my eyes, or at least Realm Shifter Dorado for sure. Oh, what happened? Let's see. Let's do a play-by-play. What happened? I think it was the monsters that were fighting. We had an Immortal Lord, so the Immortal Lord probably went first and then attacked. Yeah, because if there's poison, I can understand that, but there was no poison there. Looks like I might have had some technical difficulties happening with my internet, folks, so I think I might be coming back. I'm just double checking right now. There we go. That looks good. Good. Where are we at? 66% of the way. So I might not quite get 80%. I might get like 75%, which is pretty close to 80% of the way there. But these Gwambrods are going to hopefully have to carry me over there. I'm most certainly that they will. I'll go fish some more if I need to. But this should bring me to 96. Today, I've literally gotten like, what is it? Like 7 or 8 cooking levels over the last 2 weeks, I think. So, you know, putting a good amount of time into cooking. For it being in the 90s, you know, high 80s, working into the 90s. It takes a little bit of time when you're not just using the way that costs the most money, or like, you know, I don't like just making wine and then just like not being able to really just use it. It's just like low healing food that lowers your attack. Rather make more fancy or exotic food. So that's why I want to train my cooking to be, so I can get to cook the fancy food that heals more. Because, you know, if I have food that heals for a whole bunch, that means I can take and, you know, stay there longer and not have to go back to the bank and go heal up or go back to my house. And I'm all for that. Yeah, so now that they dropped the Avalon Ore, the Balarite, and some other stuff, the Solarite, it's really good. You know, really like their event. But I much rather farm dragons still. I have my priorities. Dragons always. Always, dragons are important, so important, especially for like Win-Win Bidmin being like a recent tier 10 over the last couple of months, I think. Or maybe he's been tier 10 for longer, but, you know, if you haven't really had a chance to run a whole bunch of dragon dungeons, it's really important to help you get some good quality gear to help you out. I wonder if I'm frozen or if you're not going Wintermelon. We'll see. There you go. That answered the question right there. Okay, got some good materials throughout here. Overall good for materials, I'd say. Let's see. Looks like I might be getting a turn here. Alright, yeah. You can word of word night. I'm just going to start chipping away at them right now. See what I can do here. There we go. Just do a little quick, little slashy slash, you know, take out majority of their health, you know, not a big deal. There you go. And everybody's got ward up, so we're all good. One second, folks. All right, I'm back. Let me just log out right now myself. And then log back on. So they don't try and log me out. And get back to the cooking these sharks. I know I'm going to have to get more sharks or more shark squam buns or whatever I'll be cooking in order to get to 97, which is the goal, because the Whirlpool Surprise, which is a keg of beer you can get from your boat, gives you +2 cooking. And as long as you have beer glasses, you can have infinite supply of it, because you can just cool like that. You can have I have the same thing in my house, but you know, while I'm on sea, if I wanted to cook some of the stuff and then just drop the burnt food and then fish more stuff, you know, be a little more AFK, try and process through some stuff. You know, maybe it'd be cool if I can have some friends on the boat with me and I can just hand them fish, like, here, take this fish, please, go to the bank. You know, because they should be able to do that. You know, just whatever they can carry, bring it back to the bank, and then I can just fish even longer. Because you can have like up to like 4 or 5 people on your boat, I think. So then it would be like an extra like 100 and 112, and then we're like, you know, 140, which is a pretty big difference. Extra spaces for your inventory. Maybe I'm doing the math wrong, but I think that's pretty accurate. Let's see. Wintermelon, how much pure Draconite do you need in order to ascend? Like, how many thousands do you need? Or is it more than 1,000? Is it in the 5 digits you need? Hopefully not. You're down to 2K? Okay, that's pretty close. All right. Yeah, that's pretty close. That's doable in, like, a week or less, depending on how active you farm. Okay, yeah. Well, then definitely, if you're averaging that much a day, then, then you'll begin to do that pretty fast. If you're farming 3 or 4K a day. Like, I'm saying, like, casual people can probably farm, a couple thousand a week. If you're farming, like, 10, 15, 20, 30,000 plus a week, then you're definitely putting in the time, and it pays off, because you get more materials, but also requires more time. That's the trade-off, more resources for more time. Some people are like, yes, I will do that. Yeah, it's really good timing that the event happened to show up when you're pure Draconite. But when you get blocked again, then it's so difficult unless you summon like a whole bunch of Quetzalcoatl's, 2 or 3 in Ascensions out of 4. My goodness, yeah, that's pretty brutal. I've had it with a lot of other challenging things to farm. Like when you get Ancient Stone block, that hurts as well. That's why I tell people, hey, when the Crimson Festival comes around, you best be making those Perseus scrolls because they're going to help you. Even if you can only make like 10 or 20 of them each event or something like that, because you don't farm it a lot, that all will help out in the future when you need Ancient Stone. They can farm Perseus and get Proofs of Agony as well. Oh, there we go. He's got it. He's got the combo. He's done it. He's got the avidity. Let's go. That's the ninja way right there. Getting all the turns. All the turns. So much winning. Oh, he's even using a quad edge to be fancy, man. This guy. I would highly recommend that at least using a Panacea that they can remove your what is it? Your defense down. I'm going to give you some ward turns. May give you a turn. Nope, but my pet just decided to blast. I was trying to give a chance for Wyrmhunt Ben the ward, but he didn't want to. But that's all right. Now you can just horizontal slash. Or you just use the Dragon Tail sweep. So you gotta pray for the good RNG. Yes, attack me. Attack me. Do not attack Wintermelon, please. Attack me, or maybe tickle Win Ben a little bit, but mainly just hit me. I'm like one of those like anime characters. Like, hey, if you could take and actually like hurt me, I'll give you something. Let's see, who do we have that just joined us on the Discord? Oh my goodness, there's 2 of them. Oh my goodness, 2. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay, I see you over there. Hey there, Maxwell. Welcome. It's adorable. Yeah, they are terrifying. Hey, those are the things that usually kill you. So I mean, I normally just run with the dog the most of the time, especially because the dog is so good with like for defending for PvP defenses. Because if you're going aggro, you need somebody to ward you. If you're not going to ward yourself, who's going to ward you? Your dog, of course, or your golem, depending on whichever you prefer. You know, some people live and die by the Steward golem. You know, I still stand by that it's the best golem in the game, and I will fight you on that. Best golem is the Steward golem. All right, now in the 700s in the fish, so we're making some progress. That's good. Oh man, this is an easy first floor right here. Might get yourself a couple of turns to buff up from taking out all these easy ones. If I die, I die low. Hey, that's the true ninja way, man. That is the true ninja way. If you die, if I was meant to die, I was meant to die. So be it. It's painful when it happens. I'm not saying it's not painful when you die. In a video game, it kind of hurts because your health points reach 0, so that kind of hurts. But you still got all the rewards along the way. It's not like you lose all the previous floor rewards. So if you die at like floor 12, you still made it to 11 out of the 20 floors. Yep, there we go. Finally, attack me. Yes, can take the hits. Big strong man, very stonks. It didn't even tickle. 50. How much health do I have right now? Let me see. My 52 out of the 57,000 health. Yeah. Please. If you can kill me, I'll be pretty impressed. Especially with one English. Like if they could kill me, because I got the 50% ward absorb, which is the big. What is that? 213 plus 1,000 ward that I have right now, which is a very good amounts. Oh, there you go. Nice. The Warlord missed. Nice. The last chance for him to attack, and they attacked both of us, except for Wintermelon. They attacked Win Bin Ben and myself. So there we go. We were successful target bait to allow Wintermelon to finally get to the easy floors, which is the last ones. You're in the home of strength. Once you make it to floor 16, you made it. You finally made it. And we made it over the hill. We did it. Let's see, how are the buff timers looking? Oh, wow, this is charged back up. So let me just pop that real quick. The Karmic Proof. Always good to have that running. 11 minutes left on the buff, so we can probably get another 2 or 3 dungeons in, I think, before we need to take them rebuff. Maybe 4 if we're lucky. We'll see. We'll see how fast we can go. How pedal to the metal is Wintermelon. And from what I've seen, they're very pedal to the metal, which is the ninja way. This is the way, just like spam tap it. Taking your phone, just like like tapping it as much as you can, or your tablet. Okay, so one more, and then I'll be out of dungeons. Okay, I'm gonna have Win Win Bin Bin host next then. So you definitely want to give him a turn in order to can ward up, or you may want to change to warding star turn pet, because if you have the Ordnite Golem or the Steward Golem, I believe their Bestial Mon is starting ward turns, which would be much better than having no starting ward turns. You can also use an Amity if you have one, or a piece of gear, or a weapon potentially. There's a lot of things that give starting ward turns. Bin, but whichever one that you can do right now is probably the best one. I wouldn't recommend, especially if you have like a 25% accessory amity, I would not put the Stunning War Turns over that. But you normally want to try and not go full farm gear if you are going to use farm gear, especially if you're hosting. When you're hosting, you want to be like, a good mix between, a little bit of farm gear, but still solid defense, HP, resistance. Like, I wouldn't recommend doing Mimic Helmet and Court Jesters at the same time. I'd just do one or the other. You got to pick. I would do the Mimic Helmet over the Court Jesters just because it gives you XP, and Orns, and gold, and luck. So, I think that's more important than just the gold and the Orns that the chest gives you. But, I mean, if you're comfortable and you're okay with potentially dying while greeting for it by going for the full farm gear, that's your choice, I'm just giving you what I would do. I would mainly just save the farm gear. Like if you're if you're doing like endless or doing like goblin fortresses or killing bosses on the map and you're just trying to get big chunks of orange and stuff like that. So that's why the Titans and Giants event that form the star drops that you can drop bosses to fight is a really good thing. Some people choose to make them into Hyperion scrolls. Some people choose to take and use it for God Forging as well, because you can get a God Forge Aura boss to fight. It's either the tier 6 or tier 7 or 6 version, or it's the tier 10 one. But still, killing a boss with farm gear will give you a good amount of orange. So when Bidman, I'm going to have you host first. Or no, I think he has one more, so that's good. I'm going to change my helmets and I'll be truly last. So I'll give you a chance to take and go after Wintermelon instead of going last. I'd much rather go last, but apparently you have a Pumpkin's on and I have the Tarnished King's Crown, which is negating majority of the negative foresight. I'm just losing a little bit. So we'll see. I'll be truly last. Or not. I take off the helmet and put on an Avalon crown. Yeah, still legit to carry. I love the battlegrounds. They're so good. Actually, one of my friends who just went to sleep, unfortunately, is pure perfect runestone blocked, or perfect Balder locked. I think one of those. I'm pretty sure it's perfect Balder. Because it only drops from these guys that are over here, or majority of the guys that are in the battleground. So he saw the double battleground. He's like, "Oh my goodness, I love this. This is the best place ever." So, and I love running battlegrounds too. I think that's where I got like one of my legendary or ornate band of gods from. Like one of my couple of first ones was from about hard mode battlegrounds. Now I wouldn't recommend running hard mode unless you didn't want to plan on hosting for longer durations, or if you don't have the keys. Because hosting hard modes does cost more keys, but luckily this dungeon does give you back a good amount of keys from a lot of the bosses here, which is nice. How to max view distance and to get the dungeons? Well, it is simply to join the ninja way. You must become a ninja to gain more view distance. This is the only way. There's no other way. You have to become a ninja. Win-win, win-win. In order to get more view distance, this is the way. Now I'll show you on my screen what is the bare minimum ninja you must be. And what I would recommend, depending on what you have right now. So, I recommend not being less than the tier 7 ninja, the magistrate. He is a warrior and a ninja. So the warrior part's important because you can wear the fallen sky helmet to give you that 10% extra view distance that you can get from fighting the raid right now. It's at the Quetzalcoatl. The Green Dragon raid. The Green Dragon. And you would use, your best view distance weapons, which would be the Hell Heist if you have them, but fire pikes are the second best thing you can do. Or, if you have, any other view distance weapon built, if you have full symbols of war, or these All-Seer's Eye, I think, or the eye one for the Dormant, so you have 1%. The booster view distance up higher. And then going the Seeker specialization. So you'd always make sure that this class is on the Seeker specialization because you get more view distance as the Seeker specialization. Because you're seeking out more dungeons, get it? It's kind of built into it. A little Captain Obvious there for you. But, if you didn't know, then, now you know kind of thing. All right, they're going to be back in a minute, so you got some time to take and swap over there, and you can see what you can do. And then for your gear, when you're hosting, which is important, which I didn't get to yet in Wintermelon, you want to make sure you have your tankiest physical defense gear, because you're mainly going to get attacked by physical attacks from the fast people. The ninjas always hit you first, don't they? That's who's always hitting first at boss dungeons. So you want to have high physical defense and a good amount of HP as well. So if you don't have something that's high defense, but you have something that's high HP, then that can help out. They give you a bigger health pool that increases towards your ward to give you more chances of surviving the hit. And that's why Jewel Creations are so good at putting your gear, if you have some English gear, or gear that has a dormant slots, because it gets you health, gives you mana, defense, resistance, ward, attack, magic. It literally gives you, all the majority of the stuff that people need. Where are we at? Oh, wow, we're under 500 fish, so we're making the progress. This is true, Wintermelon. Lower defense is cooler, but that's only actually if you're willing to go down the full path to become a ninja. Some people are only temporary or part-time ninjas here, They just use ninja to help them get more dungeons. And then once they collected all their dungeons, they toss the ninja to the side, put it back away into their collection, or wherever they do with their ninja ways and skills and stuff like that, and then they just play another class, which is crazy. But whenever you're ready, Wintermelon is ready. I believe I am ready as well. Well, actually, no. Let me just rebuff. Because I only have 2 minutes left, so you might have a similar time. So I just highly recommend rebuffing. Then just make it easier than not having your buffs on running the dungeon. Use as many or as few as you want. Like technically, I can use this Vulcan's Brew right here if I want to, but I'm down to 46 right now, so it's pretty low. So I might have to go kill some. I might have to go kill some mimics and some fools. You never know. I might have to go through my little Rolodex of raids. Be like, okay, what raids do I want to take and start working on right now? Yes, that is what I would recommend. So what you can do is learn the art of stacking dungeons. So this is a advanced technique here. So what we will do for stacking dungeons. So this may be the first time people are hearing about stacking dungeons. Some people may already know this concept or idea. But what it is that you enter the dungeon, you kill the first floor, and then after the first floor is cleared, the host closes the game, opens up the game again, and then starts another dungeon. The other people leave that dungeon by clicking continue, and then X, or closing the game, whichever one they want to do. But closing the game, clicking continue, and an X to go back to the map is the easiest way. And then you would just keep on stacking dungeons until your dungeon queue, which is the thing in the right, or your activity slots, is maxed out. Now you can get this higher than 5 if you decide that they can spend your currencies here at the event shop, or go to the astral tree. So you can kind of see here, one of the rewards here is activity slots, but it's only for a limited time. It's not forever. So if you want to get more dungeon slots to host more dungeons, then you can do that if you see a whole bunch. But if you don't see a whole bunch, I highly recommend not getting this unless you were planning on trying to stack up more dungeons to run, which some people like to be able to do. So you can get that from both of these and from the astral tree as well. If you go down the astral tree, I think it's over here. Yeah, these are here. So you don't have to stack them. You can just start the dungeon and then just swap back after, and then because when you're the host, you can do whatever you want. When you're the group members in the party, we can only change our gear in between floors. We can't change our gear mid-floor and it's going to work. We can only change it after that floor has been done and you see the victory screen. Like we're in limbo between the next dungeon where we can change our gear. The leader can do it anytime they want. They can swap their gear, swap their pets, do all their stuff. All that doesn't work for us in skills and stuff. So I would want you to host the Battlegrounds first, and then the Dragon Roost, and then the normals. That's the order that I'm going to have you when Wyrmhunt hosts. A little bit different than how we did it before, but I think because those would be the most beneficial for you to run those. To help you get some stuff from there. Well, if you don't see the Battlegrounds, then just go with the Dragon Roost and then the normals. But you want the normals as the boss event dungeon. And I'd recommend, if you have the keys, to run the Beast Ends as hard mode for the Morgan themed event one. Don't run it as a Beast End. Run it as the themed dungeon because it gives you an option when you go to host with the party. Because Beast Ends are dangerous because that's where the fastest thing in the game resides in as its natural habitat. If people don't know what it is, let me know. But I don't want to give it more power by bringing attention to the fastest thing in the game. If you know, you know. Where are we at? Oh, 78. So we are going to get to 80%. So that's great. I'm so happy that my math was pretty spot on. So that's good. That's very nice. 80% of the way to 76, all thanks to the Sharks. Much respect for the Sharks. Can't wait to sell it for a whole bunch of money, to get some money back from the money that I spent. So it's really nice. Long-term goals, accomplish, getting those cooking levels, then selling the cooked food for money, just like you would do in real life, Cook a whole bunch of food, and then you sell it, and you make money, and then you cook more food, and you sell it, and you make money. I used to work in the culinary industry, and it's not an easy one. If you don't have the skills and the discipline, and it requires you to take and to be successful, at least you can be okay and good and stuff. But when you do baking, you kind of have to give it your all. Recently, I found this notebook or this notepad right here, and I made a milk bread recipe. So making a loaf of bread from scratch in my KitchenAid mixer that I have at my house. Because of course I have a KitchenAid mixer. You think I wouldn't have one at my house? You're crazy. Or a form of electric mixer. It doesn't have to be KitchenAid, but an electric mixer. Yeah. Yep. KitchenAid mixers are goated. That's Wyrmhunt, life-changing. Yep. All right, so Wyrmhunt said they're going to be here for a cool 20 minutes, and then they got to take and skedaddle and go do some other stuff, other life stuff, which is understandable. But yeah, so then what I might do is that after Wyrmhunt leaves, if we don't have another person, what I might do is I might just do a little endless. I might just get a little practice in endless. When Ben can say in the party, I'd like to ask for Wyrmhunt to leave because I'm trying to just maximize the XP share or minimize the efficient XP share because I'm trying to work towards my overlevel badge. because I'm like, you know what, it's XP event, so I'm gonna be doing a little endless, do a little endless, helping give back to the community. It's been a while since I've done one of these little events, so we're gonna do a little bit over the weekend. Mainly Sunday is gonna be the big focus on that one. We're gonna do a lot of community Q&A questions, other stuff. Like I had some money in my friend Takara's Kingdom, which he has like all variants of players, between new players and stuff. They said, "What's the importance of the storage? Do you like run out of storage?" He was just like curious about the whole inventory and storage and in game. I explained to him that you can hold as many items as you want, but if you hold too many in your inventory, which is what you hold in your immediate vicinity or within arm's reach, per se in game, if you have too many of them, then there's a red message that shows up. You see it on my screen. Be many people seeing it. This guy telling you, hey, your game is going to suffer if you take and have too many items. Your game performance. Not like dramatically. For some people, it gets pretty bad. Like I had it where it's pretty bad. Like it is right now, but it's a lot more often where like the game would freeze up or like it'd take longer to load. So what I like to do is I just like to throw an app in the background. Swap back to it, pretend like I'm using this app over here, but I really want to use this one to try and soft reset it. And then normally that'll get the job done. So we got really lucky, I guess, that we didn't have any berserks attack you right now. Being with your tier 7 class, so very brave of you right there to do that. Eventually you want to get Realm Shifter, and you want to get the actually there's a new alternative actually for a Vudison's helmet now. I believe it's called the the Morrigan's hairpin. It's a new item just recently was released. It was a fan-made item that they released in the game, one of the few newer things. So Medea's hairpin, here it is. So this is an item you can wear for all classes. It gives you a little attack, little magic, some ward, some foresight, some view distance, some accuracy, and it has, very low slots. And it's a tier 10, so it drops from Medea. So you can wear this as a Realm Shifter, have much more HP and, tankier stats in a tier 7 class if you have the Orns. I would not recommend spending the Orns if you're trying to focus on getting other stuff when, but I'd highly recommend eventually getting to unlocking Realm Shifter. You can still run your dungeons as the tier 7 class. It's more than fine, but this is the one you can use until you would get like Dorado in the future, because Dorado is the best Vudison's class because it can wear Warrior and Thief gear. So even if you didn't have if you didn't want to upgrade from the Medea's hairpin, you can use the Fallen Sky helmets on Dorado, and then have those starting war turns as well. So you don't even have to worry about thinking about starting war turns, because your class has built-in starting war turns because it's part warrior. So it's literally like the best class that they can host dungeons, start dungeons with. Yeah, I mean, some people just don't. There's like, oh man, they just like crit and stuff. It's like, yeah, well, that's a big part of our identity, but it's like, we're also have a lot of utility and other cool spells that we have as well that people like to use from time to time. Now, of course, other classes have their important spells. Like, it would be a struggle and a half if you didn't have any Beowulf spells. So Beowulf is one of the most important classes to unlock for the overall spells that you get from it. Yeah, base Realm Shifter is so underrated because you have new gear that will automatically permanently restrict your healing, so you can be max health through the Sphinx gear, which is fantastic. All right, what's your question, Bin? You gotta go outside whenever Wintermelon leaves. Okay, well then go outside. So when you're hosting it, you want to go with the Yeah, the normal one is Horde. Yeah, this one right here, when you're doing that, this is the event dungeon. So you see if you click the event one for like a, like, you know, these right here, where you just go here and then go events. I mean, they're pretty similar here. You always want to make sure that you include the event content whenever you're running the event dungeons. Oh, there we go. He did it. He bought the Realm Shifter. Nice. There we go. There you go. I got much more health now. 10,000 health more. Yes, the ninja. The ninja. Another ninja. Victory. There we go. The evil ninja, the other samurai trying to fight us. Ninja versus ninja violence never stops. But luckily, he hit you just enough in order to put you into the Mystic Feather Zone. This is where the real RNG starts to kick in. Where if you didn't think it, you didn't think you were, you thought this is over. Oh, that's not good. Looks like Wintermelon. All right, they got a little too happy with the quad edge right there and actually seppuku'd themselves on accident. So what I'm gonna do, Women Bidman, is I'm gonna swap my pet after this floor. So what you're gonna do is you're not gonna click continue until I say continue, because I need time in order to swap out my pet, and then it's only gonna take me like 20 seconds at the most. Maybe not even that, but just don't click continue until you hear me say go or continue, pretty much. And then what Faffy's going to do is Faffy has a chance to revive our friend Wintermelon from the grave. So I'm going to stun dart the Kraken here. You're going to Ward of Wardenite. Do not attack. You're going to Ward of Wardenite. Or Ward of Mithril, whatever you got, whatever your ward spell is. If you don't have one, then so be it. But there you go. The stun dart worked. So now I'm going to take and avenge my friend by slaying this Kraken. So don't click continue. Make it easy. Had the player on, talk to this guy, and we're going to get Faffy, the dragon that can revive people and also likes to pray for people. All right, so now you may click continue, Win Bin Bin, and we will try and revive our friend by stalling as long as possible. And it worked. I didn't even have, that was relatively quick, I should say. So well done. And you know what? I'm a nice guy, so I'm going to give him some ward turns. And I gave him another turn, so there you go. I'm so good that I can give other people other turns. That is also a thing you can do as a ninja. Ninjas can support other ninjas by giving them a chance to get turns through the arts of the avidity. One of the eighth or ninth wonders of the world of RNG. Avidity. Such a wonderful, chef's kiss kind of thing. Wah! So RNG. Yep. And now you can see you're in the red line. So once you're under half health, you get extra stats. When you see that all red 33%, so that's to all your stats, to your attack, your defense, your resistance, your magic. And dexterity, technically, as well. Unfortunately, Faffy is praying, which is adding health to everyone, so we don't like it when Faffy prays. Sometimes it's helpful. Like, if you're running hard mode and the guy's got poison and he's last and you really need to heal him up so he doesn't die to poison and stuff, then it kind of helps out if he prays. Or I think Faffy can dispel the poison technically. Or, they can use an antidote, a Wispiel. All right, well, thank you for carrying Wintermelon. It was great getting a chance to run Dunjos with you. I'm elated or so happy to hear that you've joined the Ninja Way. Hopefully we can convert Win Bin Ben over to the Ninja Way as well. Maybe he'll take and enjoy it as well. We'll just have to see how this event treats them and stuff. But have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. Wintermelon does say it was nice meeting him. Meeting you as well, and wishes you the best. Well, that's kind of my part, but I feel like you can add that in there. There you go. He decided to come to the other chats. Of course, he said thank you as well. Nice. All right. Well, yeah, so then I'm going to take and do some endless. So this is how I am going to do endless as a realm shifter. So a lot of this gear you may not have, or you may have, or you may be close to having. And I can always help with achieving the gear that's attainable through raids, because I am the raid hoarder collector. And it pays off, too, to have a whole bunch of raids, I heard people like having a whole bunch of raids to take out. Some people don't. Some people are like, oh my God, these are so many raids. This is like so much stuff to do. And I was like, you got to chill. They don't have to die right now to be taken out. I can always just go somewhere else and summon more raids. That's the great part of being a GPS game. You're not limited to the amount of area where you can drop raids. I could drop raids all around the world if I wanted to, during my travels. I don't, but I could. I probably should. See if if I come back, if people hit the raid and stuff like that. See if people are playing and stuff. So that might be what I do. But let me double check my kingdom stuff real quick. We already won that. So I'm gonna hold off on starting another one, because I don't want to take and have to worry about that when I'm doing endless. And thank you, Gun Height, for the follow. What an interesting name there. I may have a gauntlet to do, but I might not do that either, because I don't want to bring attention to the gauntlet. Going to be a little sneaky here, so don't tell them. Shh. Because I'm going to be running endless as Corvus, which isn't really ideal for PvP. Dorado is where you want to be at for PvP. Realm Shifter Dorado is one of the best PvP classes in the game, because of the Dorado passive, which is, I would say, the one before Avidity, one of the many wonders of the RNG world. But I definitely don't need this pet anymore, so I'm going to get out the pet that I do need right now, which is the Great Yeti, or the Super Boof pet. This is the pet I'd recommend getting if you're going to be doing any endless, because it gives you all the elemental resistance protections, and it gives you Magic 1, or Magic Defense 1 and Defense 1 as well. I like to start buffing with Beowulf, because it has the most pet action rate to allow the pet to do the thing it's supposed to do. And I go Raider. So I have Beowulf Regia set up because it can act twice. So twice as many buffs per turn. Oh man, I'm almost out of sharks. Where I'm at right now, 85%. Wow, I got even higher than I thought. So I'm definitely missed now. I only need 130,000. Oh yeah, we got this. We got this for certain. So let me swap over there right now to go. I'm going to just do like one endless. We're going to just see how one goes. I might do another one. I might do two. I might not do the second one, but I'm going to just show you how I prepare the endless. So I use Raider for the Berserk 3, which is important because Realm Shifters can have all the Berserks that they want. So I have a ward regeneration axe, my tanky gear that I have here, some immunity accessories, the Book of the Dragon X. The regular Book of the Dragon can work for the dragon alignment because my main weapon is going to be a dragon attack for the element weapon that it has. And it's going to give me immunity to dragon, which is important because a lot of dragons can hurt you. So if you're immune to them, then they can't hurt you. The Cowl of the Dynasty is what gives you the Curse of Sakmet, which is the blood shift like ability that doesn't give you stats, but it's permanent and doesn't fade away. You have to put on the gear again to get the spell to deactivate it if you want to. And then I have like a health and mana regeneration amity to help me if I do get hit, where I'm using Berserk so I don't lose a whole bunch of health and be in danger of dying. So that's kind of like the overview right there. And then my spells that I use are going to be Call of Brynhild 2, which is from the Tier 9 Beowulf class, which you should have already. If not, go get it. All the standard buffing spells, the Curse of Sakmet from the gear. So it only shows up if you have that gear on. So it's one of those special spells. Wispiel, Berserk, Wormsong, all that fun stuff. Gunner. Gunner is what you would use if you're really comfortable and you're okay with like dying earlier on. You get more power, but it nukes your resistance. So if you get hit by a magic attack, it's going to hurt a lot. Not lying. If you get hit by... Sometimes you will die to physical attacks too, just because it's a Berserk Realm Shifter. And they hit you because you didn't kill them in one shot. And they have 100% increased stats because they're at 2% HP because you barely miss them. And then they're like invincible pretty much right now. And they just nuke you. In that scenario, you use Stun Dart and you pray that they get stunned and you take them out. Because Stun Dart is our greatest weakness, is being stunned. It takes away your Mystic Feather when you're stunned. It says, no, you have no more Mystic Feather, no more. Which is very not good. So let me zoom in real quick. Go here. Go change the pet. I thought I changed the pet, but I did not. Or maybe I did, and the game just hasn't recognized it. No, I just didn't change the pet. There we go. I should have some dungeons near me that I can run. All right, cool. Yeah, I have 2 right here. And I have my castle as well that I can take and run. But we're just going to run these. So, endless. I'm going to do it at 4 English. I think I can always go higher English. I know that I can, but I'm just going to do 4 as a warm-up. Or lower. I can always go to 1. I never go to 0. That's my personal policy. I never do any dungeon without at least one English, even if it is endless. 4 is not going to be too much of a hassle. It's still going to be a little bit difficult the later on I go because they have more stats, so they're going to be able to hit harder. But it's not going to be that bad. I'm going to actually just do my personal one as the other one. But I always have to go for Call of Brynhild first. Okay, dude's got some moves. Okay, didn't hurt me too much. That's why I got the HP regeneration. And there we go. Now he can't hurt me anymore. And I'm just going to just Divine Bastion and chill. What you would want to do is Ward of Word Knight first turn. Don't do as I say, not as I do in this scenario here. Do not, just full on just start like using non-ward spells, or at least have some starting ward turns. All right, so I got the Dragon Alignment from the offhand, which is fantastic. I've gotten 4 out of the 6 defense buffs, also fantastic. I got the defenses, so I'm pretty tanky right now. So I'm almost done with the buffing phase here. So I just need to use Berserk. I didn't need to defend there, but he chose violence. Oh, looks like I do have all 6 of the buffs. Okay, so then yeah, I'm pretty much done here. I've gotten all the stuff that the Yeti can offer me. If I keep on going, the Yeti's gonna just keep on attacking stuff. So I just go on to the next endless right here with keeping the same build and everything is what I would recommend. All right, so we're going to get almost 89% or maybe 89. I don't think we're going to get the 90, but I'd be crazy if we did from these Sharks. Sharks, the MVP here. Oh, almost 21,000 sharks. But to bring the flea. And then I'm going to go here. Endless. Oh, that's cute. That's adorable, trying to hit me. All right, so there we go. The Yeti has done his job. So thank you, Yeti, for the work. Now we're going to swap over to a ward turn pet. I'll build some ward turns. Now, I like using the Stewart, the Arisen Stonework if you have it, or the Stewart Golem is a good second alternative. Or any pet that gives you like Ward Mithril or something like that if you have a lower level pet, depending on what your available pets you have. I have a lot of pets, I've I've collected a lot of pets over the years. All right. Win, Ben. Take care then, buddy. Remember, stay in the party. Don't you leave the party. So you can get some of this XP. So I hope you get some good XP from the Endless. Have a great rest of your night, buddy. Or day. I know it could be different, wherever you're at. Take care. What? I'm still burning them here? What? I thought I couldn't burn them. Oh my goodness. That changes everything. I mean, luckily I only need 530, but we'll see how many I burn. I'm actually pretty surprised that I'm still able to burn them here. I have the Husidius gloves. I guess these are just built different than the sharks. I knew there's a reason why I like the sharks. Just because they're so much safer. And they're not as fast as these, but, that's all right. So we got that other pet. Let's go back to this one first. Let's go with this. Or not bad. One burn is not too bad. Let me just move this down here. Make it easier for me to get. I think I'm good for here because I want to use the other spell. I think I did use Gunner on the other one. So let's see that one, and then this one. Okay, now I'm good to swap to the other one. I always like to do like one row of spells at a time because you can't hold more than 3 in your action bar, spell bar thingy before it starts erasing the fourth one. If you cast the fourth one, it releases the first one that you cast. All right, good. Yeah, I was right. This one didn't have Gunner, so that's good. Oh, this one's been a little stubborn here with that one. Okay, there we go. Now we got that. So now we're almost done. Fantastic. Now I use the Curse of Sekhmet. Yeah. I'm going to use a Berserk Mushroom here. I am going to use a Panacea here to remove that resistance and attack down. Oh, nice. There we go. That one was a clean one. Nice. Wow, so I'm going to get to 5 point, what is it? Yeah, 9.6 million XP. Okay, so I think this one's all good, yeah. So, now we go back here, and we finish this one then. Use a panacea here just because we can. Remove the attack down, and the pet just blasted him. All right. Now we do our last pet swap, which is to the Chimera, however you want to pronounce it. I call it the Liger, or the Ruby Nose Chimera for the festive one. So I can get my Berserk 1. So I can get all the Berserk power. Let's go here, and then I just spam ward because I got everything else. I'm just going to build up some more ward turns, so just spam ward of ward 9 until I wait for the dog or the Chimera to do what it wants to do. So that one's done, and then that one's done. Fantastic. All right, so now I swap from Beowulf finally over to the Realm Shifter. To Realm Shifter Corvus, more precisely. And now I swap from Blades of Finesse over to Oracle. Oh my goodness, 3 burn ones. Y'all are crazy. Using way too high of a heat to cook that. And going here, and then going for this pretty much, but everything's all out of whack right now. The crit rate's definitely not where it needs to be at. Unless I'm going to be getting a Thor Monument, which I'm definitely not. But, ooh, 4 burn, that kind of hurts. But definitely could have been worse. So I like using the Yelmagus Guard because it gives you mana per turn, so you don't have to use any adornments, and I don't really care for the Orns. These help give me Orns itself, these fancy Band of Gods. So as much as, I get more Orns if I were to do this. This is an XP event. This is not a Orn event. Nor do I really farm Orns. Just naturally through playing the game, I just accumulate Orns over time. I know there's people out there that target farm Orns. I made a killing previously, but, it just doesn't do it for me. So let me see what my crit rate is at and what I need to get to. So I am currently at 81% crit rate. Oh, never mind. I was wrong. Apparently I'm at the right crit rate right all along. So even better. So here's my stats then. I have 12.2 thousand attack, 9.5k defense, and 7k resistance. I have a whopping 92,000 ward. And about 6,534 mana. So, those Ascension levels coming in clutch. The numbers you see in green. That is what the Ascension level adds to the stats. Or it's in total to the stats. Like it's combined equal to the 12. But now's the fun part where I swap. Well, I change back to the Stonework. There we go. And then I check my PvP build in case the people do decide that they can match. Let's do that. Have a little fun right there. Alrighty. Well, without further ado, let me get this endless started. I'm going to take and rebuff with some other buffs. I'm going to use a super. No, actually, I'm not going to use a super XP potion. I'm going to see if I have a Shrine of Wisdom on the map. I don't think I do, but if I do, then that'd be fantastic. And the only way to find out is to turn on the item layer. And by golly, I do. And I do have to have an Orn one as well. I have 2 of them. So RAG has gifted me 2 of them. Now, people can always actually gift other people shrines as well if they're on their friends list. So what I've done for a long time. Like, if I didn't have a shrine and I was helping out boosting somebody, like, hey, want to take and toss me a shrine that they can, literally double the XP that you're getting it. And a lot of people are like, yes, I would. Yeah, no problem. If you need another one, let me know. Normally, I only do about 1 hour endless at a time. I don't normally do longer than that anymore. I used to do, like, endless for, like, multiple hours of the day at times, multiple days in a row. Just clocking in, a lot of hours into endless. So I was making bank. That's how I've gotten so much XP that I do right now. I can always buy these as well if I have, like, the memory currency, which I haven't been doing a lot of. So that reminds me to try and get back to the memory currency, because I think I bought like a ornate amethyst, so I had to spend the majority of the stuff I had. But yeah, one of my friends is like, why don't you just get to 100? Just get to 100 good level. Now I'm just like, I could, but I don't really feel like doing memory hunts, so I'm not. Nice, we're back over 2,000 Karam bronze. Jeez, trying to say that 10 times fast. But yeah, I'm not. Maybe probably on Sunday I'll do a couple of super XP potions to try and really pimp out the XP gains. But we're just gonna use both of these just because we can. Use this for a little bit extra XP. Those are easy to get. Use that. Use this. Use that. What else am I missing? I know I'm missing something. Maybe endless treats, because there might be event monsters in there as well. Yeah, I think that's overall pretty good. Let me do this one because it has less time. The other one has 22 hours because I had no Concords on, so yay me. Getting my skills ready that I'll be using to fight for a majority of the stuff. Let's see, how many more Garam bronze do I need? I need only 321 more, so that's nice. That's about like 12 or 13 more bags. So that's definitely doable. Oh, wait, I don't have an element on my weapon right now. That's right. So I do need a dragon attack. So there you go. Those are going to be my main attacks I'm going to use. It's going to be Earth, Arcane, Dragon, and no elements. That's like my primary ones that I'm going to be using. For now, I'm just going to swing with just no elements. Do this easy. I get 130 ward regeneration per turn from my chest piece, so I can spam horizontal slash without ever having to worry about running out of ward. And I see four burnt Kwambrons, or Kwambrons, however you pronounce it. So I'm very disappointed in my cooking skills. I thought I would have been a better cook, but apparently these things, you need to be 96 or 97 with those hideous gloves. Not at those hideous kitchen in order to burn, because if I was at not those hideous gloves, the cooking gauntlets. But if I was at the Hosidious building, then these would not burn because I have that extra 5%, which basically makes me a 99 with the stat boost that it gives. But this is technically, what is it, like 3 the 5 seconds, 2 or 3 seconds closer to the bank, or it's like kind of hard to beat it. The location being like right next to you. I literally have to like walk all the way to like this pillar and then back, which is like, adds up over time for time wasted. So technically I could one tick these and just like be spam clicking and then just not doing endless at all and be getting stupid amounts of XP. But I'm like, no, I'm not in a hurry. I would like to be in a hurry, but it wouldn't really help me out to be in a hurry right now. Because I'm already close to 99 for this one. There's plenty of other skills that are going to take a lot more time than this one that they can level up. This is like one of the easier skills, I would say, in my RuneScape journey that they can level up. It's actually, well, for me, it's like easier because it's more enjoyable. Like, I enjoy cooking the food. Sure, it's not the most entertaining thing to do. But, sometimes it's like, okay, let's see. How good am I today? How many am I going to burn? Right now, I only have a 13, so a 0.4%, which is pretty good. Or 14 now, unfortunately, so it's a 0.5. The things I have to pay out to while I have no elements on my weapon are going to be the mighty mimic. He's going to be the most dangerous foe. Because he's immune to physical attack, which is only using right now. But he's neutral to dragon, so that's why I have the dragon attack. Alright, that's some good stuff right there. Not bad, only 2 burn here. It's pretty good. See how many more? 243, so we're making progress. So normally go to like 100, 150, 200 with the dog. Just depends on how many war turns I have at what floor. And then I'll take and swap over to like Celine or the bird or the penguin. Or should I say the Titan pet, the Phoenix, or the penguin. And I made the mistake, and I'm glad he didn't take and blight me or confuse me or anything. So, Viper Strike, take you out, buddy. Give me an ornate bow. Wasn't that nice of him? I missed the Ordinite Golem. What? Come on, man. There we go. Now the XP scaling up. Yep, we're getting almost a billion XP now per kill. It's getting closer. Oh my goodness, the third one. They still can't hurt me though, and they could try. But I definitely ain't going down under 100. And I'll tell you what. All right, there we go. We're in the 70s. Good. I did not want to cook them. I'm glad they had a warning message there. Thank you for doing that game. Of course, you had a second chance in Warlord. We're at 96%. So close. I'm really hoping once I get to 96 that these stop burning over here. I hope then I'll be worthy enough of a chef. Just going as fast as I can. Literally, you know, it happens, it happens. This is the ninja way right here. All right, not bad. That's like 7 or 8 more bags. So that's good. So let's see. So far, the stonework has been pretty nice. I have had over 400 war turns, which is the goal. So looks like at 100, I'll be changing over to a different pet. So that's fantastic. Or I'll just be going. Yeah, I'll just go. I'm just going to go this one all the way. So I'm just going to change the pet after 100. All right, flee. We're going to go back to the buildings. Go here. Followers. And I think I'm going to go with the penguin. I think we're going to go with the penguin. Not bad. That one was 1. But I want 0. All right. Here we go. There's a DFA channel for the big numbers. Oh, what a good job with the B strikes there, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, the last bird one. Eesh. That's all right. We keep on going. That's what I might do. I might just go fish some more Kwan buns if I run out before the hour. Who knows? I may already get distracted and go do something else. Most likely. Yeah, I'm gonna go sell all the fish that I want to go sell. That'd be nice. Who knows? Maybe that'll be for another day. I'm sure there'll be other stuff that I'll be willing to try and cook. That I have in my bag that I'm really tempted to cook right now. I might go get and do the whole house trip thing here because it's only like a 25-30 second run from the spirit tree here, which isn't that bad. So I can go to the spirit tree, get the chef's delight from my house, leave the spirit tree to go over to, let me take and show you, to go literally right over here. This is a spirit tree, so then I just run this way and go up the second floor, and then I'm right here. So it's pretty... This is a little far, but not too far. Compared to the other runs you would have to do. Like the one from OSRS is definitely, I think, longer than that. I think it's like a 40-second. Like an extra 10 seconds to get the OSRS. But you do get the bonus. Oh, yep, there's the other one, the Gazer. My other foe. That's you mean the physical. I knew there was another one. And it reminded me with bright purple eyeball monster self. That's all right. He's dangerous, though. So I'm going to have to pay attention, because I can die quickly to a Berserk one later on for that. Sometimes you have to take like a 1 to 2 second thought, and it's like normal, not normal, you know? And hopefully the not normal goes quickly respond to my hand, say don't click, you know, click a different spell before I click horizontal slash, you know? Alright, so you guys are seeing some good XP here. Where are we at? Oh, wow. Final 2 bags. 1 more bag should do it if everything goes right. Everything, if we get to get the RNG, it's going to be just 1 more bag. So close. Ooh, nice. 2.9 billion from the Berserk King Gradlin in the 160s. That's what I'm talking about. Only up from here. Because that was a low-end Berserk boss. There's a lot of higher-end bosses that drop a lot better rewards. Not of them here. Yeah, 1.5 from the Berserk Chimera Monster. Nice. Ooh, there we go. 2.4 from Berserk Kraken. See, I told you there's other ones. Gilgamesh just gives 2.9 naturally. Nice. Yep, the scaling's starting to go up. Oh, there's the dude. Oh, I'm not falling further than my asthma, nope. Luckily, my penguin can help take care of it, which is nice. That's kind of why I chose it. Alright, so we burned 1. So that's okay. We can afford to burn at least 1, or maybe 2 more here in order to get the goal. Maybe even 3. Let's see, what do we got? 27. Oh, no, we can't burn any of them, apparently. Jeez. Let's see, will this be the perfect run here? I missed. What? What a Ballard King. How can this be? Nice, 3 billion from a Realm Shifter. In the 180s. Oh, we burned 1, so. Looks like I get to choose the fish to level me up then, so that's good. Or whatever I want to cook. Doing pretty good. How much XP do I need? 95. Okay. No, I'm gonna take a leap of faith on these halibut here. Ooh. There we go. 96. Let's go. Burn 1 of them. Ooh, man. Ooh, another one. Okay, so I definitely need to go back to the cities for that one. That's way too bad a ratio. But hey, I got the 96, so we're going to see now, going back to this one, how much we get from that one. or if we get any burns or not. Now that we're 96. So here's the test. The real test starts now. How many would I need to level up? 5,000. So I definitely don't have 5,000. Need to get a little over 4,000 for that. So not too shabby. Definitely doable. We're just happy with whatever we can get with what we got right now. Working towards that 97. How much XP do I need? Yeah, I need over a million XP, yeah. So yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of time, you know? All right, diamond looked good. 0 burns there. I'm pretty impressed. I think I did level up my cooking skills. We're gonna have to get like 1 or 2 more bags to confirm this. Oh no. All right, in the zone right now. 3.8 million. Let's go. Oh no, I did it again. Gosh darn it. Doing pretty well. Oh. Oh god, I'm so glad I wasn't confused there. Phew. Nice, nice, nice. You got this sleeky there, I see. I had the Fey one too, which is good. Oh, nope, I'm still burning. Gosh darn it. Man. I'm just going to go back to the other place then. I'm going to burn it. I'm just going to go back to the other place. I'm fine with that. I know exactly how to get there. Going out this way. Go to my house. I'm gonna recover that prayer points, because you never know when you need it. I'm gonna go through the current portal. turn the camera around, go this way. Nope, it's that way, right? Yeah, it's this way. This direction. Ooh, nice 4.3. There we go. Nice XP right there. Oh, not this time. Not this time. I got you. Here it is. Look, the bank's right there, so it's not that far. Not that bad. Especially for 100% cook rate, I'll take it. There's a amount of sharks, so I got no more sharks. I can go buy more sharks if I really wanted to and just go with 99 with sharks. Probably would save me money because I don't really plan on selling these. These are just mainly for me to use. But the sharks at least sell more, I think, than these. Because these don't really sell that often, I think. Because I tried to sell mine, honestly. They're like, nah, we don't want your Cameron buns. No, we already got plenty. Like, I understand. But here we go. I'm about to get the floor 300 in endless. Just regular Krakens are giving 1.8 billion XP, so that's looking good. Oh, no, the only thing that I don't have right now that would help out would be temples. I don't have temples as well for an extra boost. So temples, higher anguish, and the super XP. So that would be the 3 different things that I could do to boost it. That I will most likely be doing for Sunday. So this is just my practice day. I'm probably not going to even do the whole hour on stream. I'll probably do part of it off stream because I do want to get a little food before it gets too late. I know it's late, but before it gets too late. So I'm going to go get some food soon. So I appreciate everybody tuning in to the stream. Once again, I'm going to be doing streams on the weekend only. So no real Tuesday, Wednesday streams. Unless we have like a whole bunch of people in the comments or coming to the Discord or saying, hey, I want Wednesdays back. Bring Wednesdays back, And I'm hoping that I know that I'm going to be working towards taking care of myself to get better before tomorrow's stream. It's going to be around between like 1 or 3 p.m. Central Standard Time is when it's going to start. So I really do appreciate everyone's support. Let's see where we're at right now. 311. No, we got to be even number. So let me take out one more. There we go. Classic. Find the Tyrannus, my old one. So thank everybody for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Click that bell notification to get notified whenever I go live. Or who knows, maybe I might release a video in the future. I've been thinking about some video ideas. But thank you, everyone. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.